Yo, my name is Denny Mussolini. I am the grand host and creator of Skeptix. This is a show that's all about honesty, redemption, and transparency. Different co-hosts will frequent these episodes and guest star with me to tell their perspectives and their opinions. We are just saying that we're skeptical of the government, of religion, rumors, skeptical of people, and skeptical of the handshake. So, yo, this is a judge-free environment. Well, don't quote me on that. Anyway, here we go. Yo, you're now listening to goth star rock legend Seraphim-of-Nazareth with her song Rockstar. If you want to support, go visit YolandaJeanTharpe.com.
Yo, 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 what is good? What is good? So, check it out. We're back. Skeptix is back. We're smarter. We're funnier. We're wittier. And all that good stuff. So I hope you have your favorite beverage of your choice that you choose to sipage. Yeah, that's a new word, sipage, right? All right, so check it out. All right, so we have my man Jarrell. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, what's up? We have my man Pagosi.
Yo, what's up? Pagosi in the building. What's up?
And we have my little brother who's joining the cast. I don't know, what should we call you? The captain, Swiv?
Nah. How about just being our, Urias?
Okay. Being our Urias. Okay, cool.
Either one.
All right, so we are waiting on our special guest. Our special guest tonight she has a very long name too. It's Yolanda Jean Tharpe, Gotham Nightmare, Seraphim-of-Nazareth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Long name.
Awesome name, though. I like that.
Well,
Yeah.
creative.
Character.
Most people in Hollywood know her by the real Sarah Bishop. Like, she's a front woman of a band. She's dated like several rock stars in the past, and she's also an actress.
Wait a minute. I think she was on your show before, right? I remember hearing the podcast with the interview. Okay,
yep.
I know who this is.
Yep, I interviewed her before. Yep.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so what this new version of Skeptix is about, like I said, we're going to be smarter, more smarter. We're going to be more funnier. No, that didn't make sense. We're going to be more smarter. But that's the gist of it, just unscripted conversation. We're going to be looking at like world topics, games, maybe politics. I don't know about that yet, but it's going to be pretty
Games
fun.
for sure, though. Games is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're going to take up for just about an hour of your time, and yeah. So she's texting me now. Any good news, anybody? While we wait on her.
Oh man, we just bought.
You guys go ahead.
Actually, me and my wife just bought a house. So.
Oh, nice! Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it. Long time coming.
Beautiful, man. That is great news.
Yeah, we excited.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. We're supposed to be moving at the end of the month, so that was going on new. It's exciting, to finally get a house and, just, achieve goals, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. You guys know her as the real Sarah Bishop. We know her as Yolanda Jean Tharpe, Gotham Nightmare, Seraphim-of-Nazareth. Let's bring our guest of honor on. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. Great to talk to you again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the fellas here with us. Like I said, Jarrell, Pagosi, and Ben.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. Just here revising my script right now, but everything's good.
What you got going on?
Well, I'm revising on Hollywood. Actually, I booked a reality TV show. And so on the show, basically, I do my career. And right now, like, the subtitle is Go to Hollywood or Go Home. And so it's like these, the ones who came to Hollywood to do music or movies or whatever. So basically, they're going to follow us around this reality TV show. So I'm doing my music and my movies, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And since I have like a following, it's kind of like you guaranteed a record deal, guaranteed like, because I can have like a couple of series. And so the thing is, we have to do it. Like, you have to do it. And so the whole world's going to like watch you do this, my management team, my producers, like my glam squad or whatever. And, see me book shows, see me do the concert, So right now I'm revising my scripts that I'm going to take on the 18th. And, so I'm like preparing everything for that.
Okay. Sounds nice. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a little different from last time we talked.
I know.
Yeah. So how did that come about?
Well, I have a new manager. His name is Michael Blakely.
Okay.
Yeah, Michael Blakely. Yeah, and he's like, he's managed like a lot of big ones, and I know he was a big virgin, with the music department, and then he has electro management. That's what his management team is, electro management. He managed my ex before, Trent-Reznor. Like, that was one of his best friends. And so it's kind of cool to have, like, one of your ex-boyfriend's best friends being your manager.
Right.
because I got the first dibs on the reality TV show when they didn't like one of the girls, Well, I won't say wouldn't like. I would take that back. I wouldn't say that. But basically, I'm a favorable, replacement, basically.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the topic of tonight, and I've been trying to find, like, an atheist for a very long time. And I was hitting up the guys like, hey, you know any atheists? Hey, you know it? Now, I called Michael. I don't know if you remember Michael from my bandmate. And I was like, hey, man, are you still atheist? He's like, no. So I just happened to be on Twitter, and I seen you tweet some things. And I remember, I said, yes, she is an atheist. But you weren't always an atheist.
I wasn't always an atheist. Absolutely right. I wasn't.
What happened?
Well, I've always been very spiritual, as you know that. Mm-hmm. And I've always did things, deeper than what the church did. And I felt myself, searching and not really finding the right answer to questions. And it's like, you can believe in a God or a Christ or whatever, and you read the stories, and then it's like, but who are they really? So I sort of went deeper than that. So I went behind the scenes. I read what they read. I saw what they saw. And then I found the truth out, and there's a thing called the I Am Presence and the One Christ Self, where that's what they studied. You get that in mystery school, or it's like a retreat, but normal people don't know about that. It's kind of like one of the hidden things. And so basically they condition you in your spirituality to become one, whole with one, which means you have to be karma free, you have to be blood free, like literally you have to be like pure holy. Now, to do that, which means it just, in this today's society, it's like really, really hard. And the last one ascended was a Christ. And then, I know Mary Magdalene went to mystery school. So basically, I was like, I want to do what they did. Like, I don't want to be in the last day, be amongst millions saying, hey, God, here I am, is there a God? So I made sure that I found out the truth myself. And so if you look it up, like it's in the Masters, you'll find the readings on it. And so I did what they did, and I read what they read, and I followed what they followed, and it's like it's working out for me, So one of my things is I want to be an ascended master. Now, like I said, to obtain that, it's a lot of discipline, a lot of study, a lot of perfection, a lot of testing. So I'm like an elite conjurer. I don't do like magic, black magic, witchcraft, but I don't like to call it that because magic is neither white nor black, but I do have supernatural abilities, and, and it's, I don't know, I just felt myself as a Christian, because I used to be a Christian before, a while ago, that it wasn't for me. I mean, like, the Christians didn't like me. I would go to church, and it was just like the church was agitated with me. And I would, I'm pretty. And so I always get that thing of you trying to tempt the bishop. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are you even talking about? It's like, I can't help the way I look. And so I was in a choir, and then I was on a praise dance team, and I went I was like on Wednesday and Sunday service, and I was just like, wait a minute, you're treating me like this? And just because I'm pretty? And so I was like, whatever. So I left. And so then I was like, I'm going to find God myself. And that's what I did. So I just studied myself. I know the Bible like the back of my hand. That's why I had to go deeper than the Bible. Because you can only get so satisfied with what it says because it's missing so many pages, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. There's so many hidden, they call it the Bible code. Like, there's hidden messages and everything. And I'm like, I don't know if I can trust, a 2,000 and some change-year-old book that they took pages out, because then what really happened, you know? And so it's kind of like when, like I said, I started like soul searching, and I don't know, it was just the I am presence and the your Christ self. It entitles you to be a God, and that's what they did. So that's how there's a lot of Christ, and not just one Christ. There's a lot of them, but they ascended, and they became a deity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, it's obtainable in our human life, but most don't know that. Like, most cripple themselves by believing a God or a higher God that they don't seek themselves. They don't condition their souls. They don't condition their spirit. They don't find out, okay, so these were humans, and then they ascended, but what did they do to make them do that? And they all had the same exact pattern. Mm-hmm. Everyone. Yeah. So I'm like, what's the pattern? So that's what I studied, was their pattern. And it's like, so I was like, okay, maybe I'll be the first female. True story. But then, like I said, it was a couple other females that did it in history. So I'm like, okay, cool. So it's not hard to obtain being a female. You know?
Right.
So I just found it's another direction of holiness. Like, I'm not a Satanist. I never went that route. However, I had a guardian angel that was of the fallen side, and he was my guardian angel for a long time. And then it was a clash in between my beliefs and him being around me, basically. Mm-hmm. You know, because people got the wrong impression. I felt myself being not satisfied, like saying, okay, I know you were a guardian angel at one time, and now you're not. But now you say you're my guardian angel. And I'm like, I don't know if I sit right with that, because they say he could be deceiving, manipulating, and I was like, wait a minute, are you trying to deceive me? Because one thing I'm concerned about is like my soul at the end. Like, I condition myself in my lifetime so that in my afterlife I'm okay. Then I realized this: in the afterlife there is no death. So it's like the afterworld is just like this world, and if there's no God, which there hasn't been in a long time, they're just scattering souls just running around the streets. And it's like, they call it like the lost souls, the lost dead. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I thought that they said to be away from your body to be with God, but that wasn't true. So literally, we all have to find our own way at the end. And it's like, do you want a barbaric God who's going to come back from thousands and thousands of years ago, or billions of years ago, and punish you because he says you didn't believe in me? Or because he says, I don't know, you did something wrong, you ate some chicken noodle soup you wasn't supposed to. Just for example. Mm-hmm. something just that trivial that you're like, I don't even know you. Like, dude, like, we're in a modern day time of young Americans, and we think differently. We have a freedom of speech. We have a freedom of religion, a freedom of everything. And if we don't want to believe in God, we don't have to. If we want to soul search ourselves and work on our one Christ self and our wholeness, then that's our choice. And to me, they try to shove a God down your throat. And it's like they're taking away your power as an individual. It's like when you empower yourself on knowing the truth, this is like hidden stuff. This is kind of like I call it the open society, because this is things that is hidden in plain sight. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, but I didn't know that. It's like, yeah, because you didn't know that. You know, we were told certain things about certain gods or certain deities or certain Christs, but it's like, but there's not one. There's several. And so, like they say, if you believe in my name, so they're competing against other Christs and other deities to whose name for you to believe in. But I say, don't believe in their names. Just know who they are, condition yourself be familiar with them, and then do what they did. Like, learn what they did, so that you'll be one of, and not like a follower or in a crowd of being hurt or manipulated. I mean, who wants in the last day to say, I judge you for what, for not, as the word says, what, for not loving me, for not being kind to your brother. What is that? It's like the word is so mediocre, washed down, sugar-coated, that they don't follow their own laws. That was the problem in the days of old. They broke their own rules that they gave to the people. So it's like, if you can't keep your own rules and your own laws, then how can we? So it cripples mankind to basically become a victim to religion. Like the Vaticans have a bank called the Vatican-bank. Why is there a huge bank in Vatican? You know what I'm saying? It's like they prey on the weak and the wounded and the lost. And they'll tell you, you have to believe in this God. And if you don't believe in this God, then you're going to have eternal damnation. It's like, but why is that? It's like, but this says that I am a God. And the same way you are, I can be just like you. And you was given instructions clearly on how we can do things that he did. Or they did, because it was more than one. We was clearly given instructions on the pattern and the formula to work on so that we also may ascend and be one of them. So I'm like, that's what I'm focusing on. And the reason I said I'm a atheist is because, as I said, I don't have a known God that I trust enough to put my whole soul and salvation self into and say, at the end of days, I know you're going to do the right thing. It's like, I don't have that much confidence in anything because, like they said, you don't really know who they are. They're like way back in barbaric days. So it's like we're in like the modern day and time, different rules, different people, different lifestyles. What was bad back then, now it doesn't even matter. And it's like homosexuality. It says homosexuality is you get punished if you're homosexual. Most of Hollywood are homosexuals, and they are too. So you're homosexual. It's true story. Like Easter is a pagan holiday for fertility, and they would do amongst men and women at the orgies. And so it's like, okay, so you're telling me that basically I'll get punished if I'm a homosexual, but then you're doing it the same thing in public. So it's just like a contradictory of information that we're given to cripple us and to make us not grow. Like the cosmos are very important to humankind, but we don't search them out. You know what I mean? Right. And it's like, yeah, but if you call them the right source, the cosmos, and then you look it up, and you're like, oh my God, you're attached to the universe, and it's like you can create your own universe. And this is actually true factual information. It's like don't just go to church on Sunday or Wednesday and then get a small piece of the word and then go back and say everything's great, because I don't trust anybody that much to put my whole afterlife into their hand. I mean, like, there's so many people in this world, in the universe. Like, how can you attend to every single one of them? And it's like, if there is going to be a long-ass line, that I'm not willing to stand in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like see your destiny of your own creation, your own being, your own power, and it's like, own it. That's what I tell about. It's like, own it. You have pure happiness. Like, just do what makes you happy without hurting anyone, but helping everyone. And that's what I go by. Like, I want to start like foundations and organizations like to help people, but I can't do it like one-on-one because then they take advantage of you. So I want to do it like in a huge corporation style to where I can provide, but I have like the advocates that go out on my behalf, because it's like I found it also that when you condition yourself in your spirit in a certain way, when you go out of your element, that you may get spiritually attacked. And a lot of things may follow you back, may cling onto your spirit. And we all have what they call an energy force field. It's a protective liner around our whole body. And it's made to not be penetrated. Like, literally, like, when we, in our afterlife, we can't get hurt. It's for, say, like, another species trying to attack us, they can't get through that energy force field. Every human has one of those, but most don't even know about that. And most they call like an aura, your aura circle. So it's like, if you condition yourself on that, it's like, you're pretty much, you'll be okay.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So, but, okay, so atheists really don't believe in a God. But you believe there are a God or gods out there, right?
Well, the thing I know is that, well, I know, so some believe there's no existence, but then that's impossible. And this thing, only because I know and I've spoke to and I've seen, this is why I can confirm that. Because I'm like, okay, so, but do I put my hands, my life in their, like my afterlife in their hands? No, I would not. Why? Because some things that you witness, most is in like secret societies, or like I said, you go to mystery school, or you may go to a retreat of a group of people where you have to go through different degrees, and you realize, okay, so they're real, so we accomplish that. But atheists, like I said, my sort of atheists, we got, okay, so there's a higher power, but they once lived as a human, and they're not my God. I am my own God. I am a God. So it's like I'm responsible for my own afterlife, my own salvation, my own redemption, and things. They're only supposed to be there to aid us and assist us. So it's like to say that some one God created all of us and we're going to go back to him. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that there's anything holy about a God. I just think that a God is who he is. When I say a God, it's like a human that lived before, that ascended, and they became a higher Christ self, like the Christ spirit that every human can has inside of them anyway.
Okay. But how do we get here?
I know. I see that's the whole point. Okay, so I mean, like I said, you can start by looking up the 7 fiery flames. The 7 fiery flames, you look that up, and it'll give you the blueprint of what I'm talking about. Every human has 7 fiery flames in them, just like Christ had. But Christ is a Christ. That wasn't his name. He's a Christ. So when you work on that, and you look up the Ascended Masters, you look up the Great White Brotherhood, you look up let me see, the I Am presence in one Christ self, and my one Christ self, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is like secret society stuff. This is stuff that basically they want you to be crippled on. Mm-hmm. They don't tell you this in church, and because it's like once you realize like I am a God, hence the obvious. That's one thing that the Christ came to say: the kingdom of God is within you and all about you and around you, not in a building built with wood and stones. Lift a stone, I'll be there, and split his wood, you'll find me. Which means that you don't have to do that. You don't have to go to church. Like, this is the way, and he showed the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a question. Like, you say, we are like gods, like we are our own individual God, that we can't sense Christhood. And, just from, listening to that, it sounds awful familiar to, I don't know how familiar y'all are with the Bible or anything, but the story of Genesis, right? Uh-huh. In the Garden of Eden, where, Adam and Eve are, about to bite into the apple, and the snake is like, you eat from this tree of good, tree of knowledge of good and evil, uh-huh, that you know everything, and you ascend into a God like good, because you all one, that nobody's higher than you. You become greater than the creator of all. And it just seems like it has a little bit of philosophy from that little snippet of a story. Yeah, see, this is what my belief is on that, and it's a research belief. When I say that, like, it's a belief that, like I said, like, we all can be a God and like God and create like God, and this universe we live in is a God's universe. Like, a God created this universe. A God spoke things into existence exactly. But you can do the same thing. Like, if you look up the seven bells of illusions, look that up. Mm-hmm. That also explains to you exactly what I'm telling you, and how you can create your own universe. And it's actually true. So you're doing it while you're alive, and it's like it's telling you instructions on how you can do it, but it's actually for real. And so basically they call it the architect, the grand architect. Now if you're the grand architect over a universe, then that means that you're a God. Mm-hmm. And then you start, and then it's like, even like how can I say it? You have to be illuminated in the mind to even process the dimensions. You know what I mean? Because you have to grace 9 dimensions. And to grace 9 dimensions, which means you have to be immersed in the word, immersed in and exactly what
what they're telling you to do. The only thing they're telling you to do is self-conditioning. You have to be free of karma. You have to know that there's other dimensions out there. You have to know that there's other universal beings. Now, with that comes testing, because you have these cosmos spirits that comes to you and they test you. So basically, it's kind of like you're being taught by cosmic beings, and it's like, at the point of ascension, so they call it, because everybody has to move on, but very few ascend. At the point of ascension, then they're supposed to help you ascend, or protect you and teach you, like the way in the light, as they say. But yeah, I mean, it's hidden in plain sight. It's right there. Like I said, whoever that God created a universe, and the snake was a fallen angel, and the apple was drugs, and he had sex with Eve and Adam. So basically, it's like you got the you can eat any tree, but you can't eat of this tree. And they had a lot of hallucinogenics, obviously, back in that day. And so the serpent obviously said, it fooled me, and I ate from that tree, and my eyes were open, and I saw I was naked. And how do you know he was naked? Because he had sex with you. So he has sex with them, and that's why he got cast out, and Eve had a baby, by the serpent named Cain. So basically, that's what it is. It's like he expelled all of God's universe, and said, but now he's still here. So like every human has an adversary. Every human has to get rid of the adversary out of their life so that they can like achieve that. Like so, like atheist doesn't mean you're a Satanist, because then you believe in something. I
would say most Satanists don't even believe in the devil, though.
No. It's okay. So if you believe in a devil, then you believe in there's not a God, but there is a God and there is a devil. They both are real. They're counteracting one another. So there is a battle in the spiritual realm. There are angels. There's fallen angels and there's holy angels. But the thing is, it's like to say they have a rule or a pattern, or they obey by the cosmic law. They do not. So to say, like, okay, so I have a Lucifer tattoo on my chest. Okay, and so I'm getting on the show. I'm getting that tattoo. I'm getting like some kind of artwork done over it, because, like I said, it doesn't completely sit right with my soul. Because I was like, okay, so you're a guardian angel to me, and I didn't feel any fear from you, but that's called deception. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't want to on the show gear anyone the wrong way, to where he may be nice to me, but he may not be nice to them. You know what I mean? And then now I have some kid in another country or state worshiping Satan, thinking, oh, she's a Satanist. I'm like, no, I'm not a Satanist. I know the cosmic order, and he was a fallen angel, and he can take on as being a guardian angel, which he did. And so just to save, like I said, being a good role model, so I'm getting the tattoo covered up on the show. So I'm getting something else really cool, meaningful put on there that also is as powerful. And so I mean, it's like I said, I don't know. Because it's a different lifestyle. Like I don't have the burden of thinking like some God is going to totally hate me because I don't know, I didn't give a heave offering today. But you know what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I just feel kind of confused. I'm like when you explain it, cause it sounds like some biblical truth, but it's like retold.
Like whenever you're reading the Bible, it's already said that Jesus spoke in a lot of parables. Whenever they said that he was talking, and they were like they put it in red writing, it was like, oh, this is what he would have said or could have said, and it was never really like actual him talking. And to actually hear stories of other people talking about him, knowing that he was alive during the time when people could read and write, why didn't he himself exactly write a book and write the Bible? Why was there so many stories about other people who had an experience with him?
No. Well, look, the Bible. Yeah, no. The Bible back then only the priest could handle that. That was only a task for the priest. Yeah, and usually the people back then couldn't read or write. The priest had to read to them, so they could actually interpret a story any way they wanted to.
Yeah,
like you're right.
From what God is, He's omniscient, He's all powerful, right?
Yeah.
And like our mind, like I'm a Christian, and my mind couldn't wrap around like the power of God, because we never seen them so powerful, so omniscient. Like our minds can't really imagine, certain things. So when I think about, I can't think like God. That's not really my role as per se. But so when I think about the Bible, I think about God anointing certain people to spread His word and to write it down. Just like, when God was in the ark, David carried the ark around because God was, David couldn't stand in God's presence because He was so powerful and so pure and holy. So I think that's why man had to write it. God had to speak into him divine through spirit, so just appearing to him or just hand them something, like the Mormons, like Joseph Smith finding, the plate, the gold plate, whatever. So that's why when they talk about, why didn't God write the Bible, I think that He likes to use people, so He used divine intervention to give them the word to speak.
Yeah.
He uses us, because we like vessels. So He uses us as vessels, because, like you said, God cannot be around sin, around unholiness. So that's
exactly. He's not supposed to be able to be around sin. Like that's the whole point. He's supposed to be sinless and free of sin, and He can't stand to be in the presence of sin. And it's like that's one thing I found intriguing about being, by studying, like I said, studying what they studied basically. So I was like, okay, so I want to see how hard was that, and it's really hard. Like it's not an easy task that they had to do. Yeah, and then you're tested on magic abilities. But the magic abilities, like I said, it's like it's not black nor white, but you can actually do it. And when he got crucified, obviously, it was prematurely, and so he was basically murdered. And that's kind of like the dilemma I have with that whole thing was, okay, so they hunted you and they took you in because something you told your little brother, and so there was actually more than one Christ. So Mary had the older brother, and his name wasn't Jesus. They took his name out of the Bible, and they named him that a while later. And so we don't know what his real name was. So they took his real name out. Then they come say it's Yeshua, and I was like, but that's a different Christ. And there's like so many. If you say that name, they'll show up, or they'll like I said, like once you're inside like your higher power self, they'll show up, because like when you pray, they said an angel sent to you, or God is sent to you, or the Holy Spirit is sent to you. Those things are true. So, but what if you can really actually see them when they arrive? That's the only difference. And it's like, so you will tell me that the guy that you crucified is the same guy you put in the church to worship? I don't think so. And because a man called Saint Valentine, Saint Valentine's Day, that's named after a saint that after they murdered that Christ, his followers were called Christed ones. And so they had a gathering saying we believe in his teachings. And so the Romans said, you cannot follow that Christ or his teachings, or you're going to be martyred. So they took them basically to the Roman Empire, and they put them like in basements, and they would literally like behead them. And so before they would die, Saint Valentine would go and marry them. He felt that everybody should have the opportunity to be married. And so he believed in the other Christ, like the Christ that got crucified. So they're going to tell this Saint Valentine, we don't want you marrying anyone anymore, and you have to believe in our God. And he said, I can't do that. And he said, our God is Zeus. So Zeus is actually Zeus is actually Jesus. Now,
I've
Jesus
heard that
means
before.
hell.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So Jesus means hell Zeus.
How?
Jesus means hell Zeus. And then the God that they told us we would have to believe in, we can't believe in the God crucified, was named Zeus. So basically we're saying hell Zeus has Zeus. And it's like, so who was the other guy that got crucified?
Yeah.
That you took his name out of the church, you took his name out, and you hunted down everybody. Like basically it's like, I'm like, so what really happened? Because he did the right thing. He told you how to empower yourself, and you actually worked. same thing. It's called the Enochian bloodline. Enoch did it. Adam and Eve did it. Elijah did it. Moses did it. Solomon did it. King David did it. Let me see. I said Noah. Daniel did it. So basically, like, it's a thread. Israel did it, which is Jacob. So it's a thread of this line where they all did the same exact thing of magical powers, and they have sinned, and they all were pure holy. And the thing is, they do work with signs and symbols. Like the pentagram was highly used. The hexagram was highly used. Even today, the hexagram is still in the Jewish synagogue. Now, a hexagram is to ward off your enemies. So you will put hex against your enemy to protect yourself. Now, the pentagram is called the Star of Solomon. And Solomon used the pentagram. Now, the pentagram is not evil. It's for to protect you from evil, to ward off evil. And then later, years later, obviously, the Satanists adopted it, and they turned it upside down. It means horns up, spirit down. And they put like a goat's head on it. So, but the original intent on that was to protect you from evil.
Yeah, it was basically a mock.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
It's like the upside down cross.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a mockery. And then I put a Roman de torture device inside the church with your Savior on it. But it's not the true Savior inside the church. So it's kind of like, so you took out the pentagram, which he used himself and his whole bloodline descendants and or ancestors, and you put him on a cross with the crucifix to show us what we did to your Savior or to your King, whatever. And it's like, but the thing is, we put an energy in that symbol today to where it actually does protect us. Like, if you believe in the crucifix, it does protect you against evil because you put a belief in a symbol or in an object. But it was never meant for that. It was meant as a mockery. It's like, this is what we did to your King, you know. And it's like, and he said he was the King of the Jews, you know. And it's the Jewish people who crucified him. One, for obtaining a forbidden magic, the same one I'm telling you about. For obtaining that, to go to mystery school was you had to be from the bloodline of Israel and from Judah, direct bloodline from Judah, and that's like a Masonic kingdom bloodline. And you have to be pure holy. Because the thing is, in the sight of your adversary, you will turn if you're not pure holy. So one thing with that Christ was that the bigger brother of the actual Christ was that he was of the Holy Spirit and of Mary. And they questioned about the Holy Spirit part because they said, we don't know who his father was. And his younger brother, Jude, which is Jude Sinclair, he was the direct bloodline of Joseph, which is King David's descendant. And so the Jews said, but to the older guy, not this older guy because his name wasn't Jesus, but for sake we call him that, they said, but it is clearly written that he will come from the bloodline of Judah, of King David. He will sit on the throne of David, but you don't have King David's bloodline. You have Hagar's. So basically, she was a maidservant to Abraham. When Abraham got pregnant by Sarah, supposed to give Sarah a baby, instead he gave the maidservant a baby, and so that bloodline is still part of Abraham, but it's not the chosen bloodline. Like it's half Muslim. So then that's what they told him. They said, but you can't be the Christ because you will not uphold in the day of adversary and adversity. So his brother Jude would complain because he was right after him. So it's like, okay, so I'm not only the Savior, I'm the King because that's my father and that's my blood mother, and you're not. That's not even your mom. So that was a dispute they had. Was his brother had mentioned something, and if you look at the original Hebrew scriptures and Sepharton, his little brother tells him that he says that's not your dad and that's not really your mom. So it's like, then who is he? And so they said many accusations were held against him, including that he was the son of the Most High God that he said. They call it blasphemy and heresy. So his little brother, remember Judas Iscariot. So the irony is this. So the one who told on him, they say he committed suicide. Remember they said that he sold him to the Romans and they took him in, and then he didn't know he was going to get murdered. So basically that's his little brother. So they changed his name to Judas Iscariot, but his name is really Jude Sinclair. And then he died, Poster died, and came back as a the apostle named Matthias. So which means that he didn't want to get questioned. So they said he committed suicide so people would not question the reason why they murdered his brother, his big brother. And like I say, he didn't mean for that to happen. So all this stuff is like Bible code. This is actually pages that you can actually read about. If you look that up, you can see that, what I just told you. And it's like, it's only if you know what really happened, you're like, oh my God, it's right here in plain sight. But the Bible didn't add that in. The Bible, they put only certain pages in there, but it tells you about them, about the controversy between two brothers, about who was actually the actual Savior and who was not. One was acting as the Savior, the other one said he was the actual Savior. So when the first one got crucified, then the little one stepped up, basically, and started doing his thing, but then he got murdered too for bearing witness to his older brother. So it's like, they really don't tell you that. They just said he had brothers that looked like him, and he went by, it was Andrew, James, Judah, and it was Jesus, but then Jesus also, we know that was his true name. So it's like, if you really look into it, and research it, you'll be amazed. The pages that they took out of the Bible, that they would not allow in the Bible.
So do they not do you think maybe they didn't allow these pages because people would become self-empowered and not be controlled by the church and the government if they knew how powerful they could be?
Exactly.
Because that's what I think. I think that the government and the church's control of people, they control them like peasants because they don't know that they could be a wizard or a magician.
Exactly.
And I've had this feelings, like everything you talk about, even when I'm reading about this, I always say these things like forge your own destiny. I don't trust the church fully, even though I was raised in the church. And I do believe in good and evil and angels and demons, but I don't believe every little thing that the leaders say. Because, I'm not going to follow one guy that says, oh, it's this and do not question it and don't read anything else. Because why would they tell you not to read anything else? As if you read anything else, that it is the devil. Oh, that's black magic. You read anything else.
Exactly.
And that's, and every religion is very, every other religion is, they're the enemy. Like, that's pretty much what they tell the church. Oh, they don't believe it. They believe they're going to be destroyed on Armageddon. So, if you believe anyone else, you're with the devil. I don't know. It's just.
But that's true. That's true.
Right, but the powers that be don't want me saying this, but I'm saying it. I'm not scared. I like to say it.
Yeah, no, but it's true. What you're saying is true, and it's like they want, like I said, they want to cripple society.
My theory,
Yeah, exactly. But so they're like a church, and we're the sick patients, and they really fuck you on the emergency room, and they really fuck you in the rooms, because it's like, but sorry, I don't watch my language, but they really mess you up because your bill goes sky high, and you're sitting there waiting for someone to show up. So it's the same thing. You get spiritually bankrupt while you're waiting for them to show up. And it's like, don't wait for them to show up. Take care. Do it yourself. Research and find out what they did. Do what they did. They obtained a magic, and so can you. The thing is, there's a bloodline that's in Europe. Okay, so apparently he went to school in Europe, and some of his he had a descendant in Europe, and him and Mary Magdalene. And so basically, they were hunted. Like, there was 5 families. They got hunted, and some came to the U.S. and some went to Russia. Now, people thought them to be witches and warlocks because they had magic. They obtained and did magic, but it's not witchcraft, but it is witchcraft. You know what I mean? Because they use the pentagram, they use the hexagram, they use different symbols, they do different rituals and stuff like that. So in all odds, the church hunted them down. So the church got hunted by the church, and then they went underground. Wow. Yeah, exactly. So they went underground to keep themselves safe and secret, and that's where the word secret society came from. It's because we're protecting ourselves from the church. We're protecting ourselves from the ones that's trying to hurt us, but they were actually holy. So the holy ones was fleeing from the church, who said, you can't tell the public that, because if the public learns what you've learned, then we're out of business. And that's one thing the Romans said in the days of old. It's a business. Like, if they believe on what you say and they can do what you do, then why are we here for? There's no more banks. There's no more church. Everybody's in power.
No more
Everybody's
donations. Right.
Exactly.
People. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
it's
I pretty much just figure it's a business. It's about money and power. Always is. That's why I always study more than research stuff. It's always about money and power. And if you get the people to believe you and give you money, I mean, you're always going to have them in the palm of your hand. So it's like, well, I have to give money to the leader. It's like cults and different. There's just a lot of stuff. It's not just the Roman Catholic Church, but many different. Or there's guys claiming to be Jesus and taking people's money. It's that stuff that goes on.
In my opinion, like, I don't really consider that the church. Like, that's more being corrupt with the government. The church trying to steal money, trying to shake people down. I don't think that's really the true church of what Christians really stand for.
But that's everybody's impression of the church nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not the real spirituality. No, that's just
Well, I'm a pagan. I'm a pagan atheist. And like I said, pagan because I use the elements, I use the cosmos, I use the stars, I use the moons, I use the powers. And like I said, I pull from power, I pull from sources. So that, in a nutshell, that's the oldest thing since the days of old, even before they created as they call our Earth, the Big Bang. And it's like paganism is like the true thing, even like God, like a God, because I can't say one God because there's a lot of gods, and it depends on who you let shepherd over you. Gods even use paganism. And if you look at even Christ, a Christ, because I can't call him Christ because there's more than one Christ, but use paganism. And every holiday that we have is a pagan holiday. Like Christmas is a pagan holiday. Yeah. Easter, pagan holiday. Right? Exactly.
Most of this is man-made, though.
Yeah.
I think they're more falling leads the Roman Catholic,
It is.
I don't think there's Christians, per se, because people think Catholics are Christians. I don't think so.
No, they're not. I don't believe in that either.
Yeah, because they worship idols. They have sacraments. Christians, we really don't have sacraments. We just have the cross in the Bible. But they worship Mary, all the saints. So when people say Catholics, people literally think Catholics are Christians. And they the one who credit must be pagan holidays. Not Christians per se, but the church.
Catholics are Romans.
Yeah,
they're the Romans who crucified the Christians.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of irks me when I read stuff online and people think when popes touch little boys or do all this little other type of stuff, they literally connect Christians to this. Even though Christians, I believe some of the people in the mega churches do some of this type of stuff, but like I said, I just think they're not really true Christians if they dabble in this type of affairs and stuff.
Okay, so is it safe to say that Catholics are the leading cause of atheists?
Yeah.
Well, if you're reading the Bible correctly, yeah, you could say that.
Well,
I say yes. I don't have
that's a good truth right there. That's a good truth. I agree.
It just hurts me with Catholics.
But also, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, my best friend Catholic, we had arguments all the time about, he considered him the true church, themselves the true church. They are the real, and Christians are kind of fake, but they consider themselves the true church. And that's
just because they're the oldest don't make them the true church.
And that's why I can't stand when people praise the Pope. He is not God. So why y'all putting him?
No, seriously, but they do. It's there's so many people that go there. It's insanely crazy, and it's because the Romans, but also Christianity can really put a sour taste in your mouth. I'm not treated good by Christians at all. Really? I went to church. It's the weirdest thing.
More, I hear people like that, but I think those are even more fake Christians because they try to live a life pleasing God, but while they doing it, you look down on others. Jesus never looked down on others while he performed his ministry. He always helped out the poor and sick.
True.
So if a Christian is looking down on you because, like you said, you was good looking and beautiful, then it's a problem within their own salvation, and they need to go to God, not judge you because you doing that. It's more in their heart, and most Christians didn't realize that because they look at others before they look at themselves. Just like you gotta get the paint out your own eye before you get it out somebody else's eye.
No, exactly.
So, I think that Christians, I'm a Christian, but they do leave a bad taste in some people. They get a bad rap about how they
and they gossip a lot. They got
Yeah, they do.
what?
But see,
It was like,
the
they're all in
crazy,
your business all the time. I'm like, why
the
are you
crazy
in
thing
my
about
business?
it, the crazy thing about it is the hypocritical Christians have created their own religion. And
Yeah, very true.
it's a multi-billion-dollar business right now, and it's crazy because I have family. My mother is one, Jehovah's Witnesses. Multi-billion.
Breed, man.
Yes, I know, but the crazy thing about that is they still call themselves Christians.
Yeah, they're not Christians. Like
they call themselves. That's the crazy thing about it.
I'm not saying like I'm like the trademark of Christians, but we go by the saying you are, you know, with the type of fruit you produce, that's who you are. And Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, different other type of, you know, religions, and some people might even call them cults. You know by the fruit they produce, right?
Yeah.
And that's one reason you can tell who's a real Christian and who's a fake Christian by the fruit they produce and how they treat others.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because so what you're saying is basically like on a personal level, like I don't want to look at everybody in one religion as being bad if I meet them on a personal level and they're good people. It's just collectively as a congregation, the teachings are like politically and biblically incorrect, and it's controlling.
Yeah. Some people try to control people's lives, but like I said, all of us, we were born in sin. We all are sinners. We're not perfect. My saying is like, don't strive to be perfect. Just don't live in that sin. Like, you know, you each and every day we try to be better, right? So if something holding you down, you know, you try to stay away from it. Like, but you're not perfect. Sometimes you're gonna digress and go back into it. But as long as you try to bear yourself, then you know Jesus is gonna look at your heart. You know.
Exactly. So like that's.
Question. So what happens if he betrays you? Question. So what happens if he betrays you? Say you believe in this Christian God. Say you believe in this Christ God. Say you believe in this Jesus, Yahshua, Emmanuel, Jehovah, God Elohim. Which there's different gods, different Elohims. Now, it's like there's a lot of Elohims. And it's like, which one do you believe in? And when they showed up, will it actually back you up? Now, that's the dispute that I have. Because it's like when they show up to one human at a time. And I don't know if I believe in that God enough that you will come and defeat your adversary, Lucifer, Satan, on my behalf, and a whole legion of fallen angels. And that you would come and protect me and say, you know, you're not supposed to be here. I'm not sure I would actually trust that Christ, because it's like he comes to one human at a time. Okay,
like
so
I said, he's all powerful, he's all omnipotent. So why?
He's supposed to be. The whole point is he's supposed to be all powerful.
My thing is like, I put it like this: like if I believe in God, and look, a lot of these religions, you know, long you believe in the higher power, you do right, you treat people good. Where you going? You going to heaven, right? You going?
Well, if that's a such thing.
Yeah, well, that you give them some type of reward for being a good person.
Yeah, exactly.
Living right. So you give them some type of reward. So let's say that God's not real, and you know I just live my life any type of way. I just do bad things, and I just never believe in God. So what's my reward? If there's a real God, what would be my reward? Like what would happen to me? I would go to hell. But if I live my life pleasing to God and I just help people and do the other type of things, then if there is God, then I got a pretty good chance, if I believe in him, of going to heaven. Or just not.
Well, this is very true. This is very true. And what you're saying is very true. And they find you. But like I said, like even with me, the gods know me. And but it's like I want to go further than that. I want to be a like. How can I say it? I want to be a superhero in the afterlife. I know it sounds weird, but it's true. And that's why I wanted to study what they did. Because to me, they come back in the afterlife to the humans, and they help the humans. You know? You know what I'm saying? Like.
Hold on. Let me just say this. It's fun when you say like you want that type of power. According to the Bible, us Christians, we do have that power with the word.
You're right.
We say we have that power. Like they doesn't say that only certain people have that power, but we have the power in the name of Jesus, like to overcome obstacles, to overcome certain things in our lives. Like, we already hear stories of how, people pray and they were saved, and just from different situations. So the power that Jesus had in the Bible, or his followers, his disciples, we still had a power, but I think that the world changed so much and diluted that we can't figure out how to type into that same power that Jesus had and his 12 disciples, even Paul, Titus, all them guys. Like, they had healing, anointing power. They had the power to cast out, spirit and
moving mountains.
Yeah,
and I believe they meant that literally.
Yeah,
seriously, like literally, like physically.
You mean the Book of Acts, right, where they did all the powers in the Book of Acts?
Yeah.
That's where they had all the powers, right?
Same type of power. I truly believe that we have the same type of power, but it's something about this world that is something holding us back from our spirituality. Getting close to God.
You're right, man. It's the condition, the way that the media is, the way that the churches are, the way the schools are, the food, the water, the stuff in there that's. The fluoride is numbing the powers down.
No, it is. And like I said, it's like, how come we can't do that? Just like, turn water to wine.
Well, you know what?
You gotta open that third eye.
That's the problem, though. Growing up, they always told me that was evil. They said, those powers aren't around anymore, and if you do that, you're doing the devil. That's all they. So that already locks your mind right there to not seek it out.
Like, that's because they're scared. They're scared, and they can't do it. A lot of us
they can't do it, so they're like
being able to. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, but I even myself, like, I've actually, like, I was able, like, a couple of years ago, I was actually able. I astral projected. And when I came back, I actually, like, I noticed that I was able to control my aura, not just see them or see my own, but I was actually able to control it and make, like, some people, like, certain people actually, like, be able to feel it. Because I do have the ability, like, whenever I'm around a certain person, my aura tell me to, like, back up. Because you know how you have that bubble, I think you spoke on it earlier, you have that personal bubble. Like, you know who to stay away. Yeah, you know who to stay away from, and a lot of people, I think they're I think some people are just way too inviting, and then once that person has broken that barrier, they don't know how to go back. So they feel bad if they try to tell themselves, I need to disconnect from this person. They feel guilty about it when it's actually something they need to do to rebuild that barrier and to keep themselves protected.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But so, go ahead.
I said talking about that little aura you talking about, as Christians, we call that, the Holy Spirit living inside us. So that little prick that tells, like, hey, you shouldn't be around that person, hey, that's not really
good. Unction of the Holy Spirit. We
the Holy Spirit living inside us, like, 3 in 1. So having the Holy Spirit, that's what we say, like I'll give you this one example. It was a long time ago. I was a teenager, and my friend asked me for some money, and I said no. All I have is $10. He asked for $10. That's all I had. So when I came to church, and something told me, I felt a little prick. It said, "Grab your wallet. Just do it. Just grab your wallet." And I brushed it off. Said, "No, I'm not." And I left the house. And when I came back, it showed that somebody broke into the house. And when I reached inside my drawer, the $10 was gone. So it's just like little instances like that sometimes tell us, hey, something's wrong here, like the little prick. Just like you hear the stories in World Trade Center. Hear the stories in World Trade when some people, they woke up that day, they're like, maybe you shouldn't go to work. And, and they stay home and they know the World Trade Center happened. So, like that, like the spirit, it's another realm, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, the supernatural realm is very real. The supernatural realm is very real. It's very active and alive. And, I guess that's why people wonder if there is a God or whatever. And it's like, but it's in that dimension, And, but like, I always tell, like, anyone, dissect and research the religion that you want to believe in. Because every religion have a spice of the truth, and a spice of deception. And it's like with me, I can't be with just one religion. I'm not going to put my whole soul and say I'm a Christian or I'm atheist I can say only because I said the way I believe. I believe, that, okay, there's a chosen God that I may choose to believe in, maybe, but he's not my God. He's a God, or he's a Christ. And so I might have the ability to be a God or a Christ also. So at that point, you don't become a clutch or dependent on, because you can actually take care of yourself, and they may come and assist you. So it's like, that's, to me, what the Savior, why they call him the Savior, that's what he came to illustrate to everyone. So the things I did, you can even do greater than I did. And it's like, you can have one relationship with the Father, but they call your mother, father, self is what's inside your core. So it's like, you as a whole person and become your whole one-man self, you're the Holy Trinity within one. And so it's like, I just can't, like, I stopped going to church. Like, I just can't put myself in a situation to where I'm leaving feeling worse than when I went there. You know? And it's like I got a good word. The word was really good, and I can apply the word to my life because it sounds familiar. But then dealing with the destruction of the people, or the aftermath of, I got a great word, but now you're forced to give like $1,000 in offering, or there's like that stone is off, or $500 offering, or $300, get as much as you can get, or you get the anointing of this word. You know what I mean? It's like it's like at that point that kind of like that kills the word, because you're like, what the hell? I don't have that kind of money right now. And so, but you feel like you've been left out if you don't put something, and you may put your last dollar in, and you may go hungry for a couple of days because of a word that a preacher said, okay, this is the word for you, now you got to sow in this word in order for it to work. And you're like, but I don't have anything to sow into it. And then you get the guilty feeling of, I have to give something, and you give your last dime, and then you ask for help, say from a church, and they'll say, okay, so what do you need help with? And you tell them, it's okay, so we'll give you this much portion on what you need, but you have to already have the other half. So when you get the other half, come back to the church. But you're like, that's the whole point. You know, it's like, if you had another source, because the church would help the congregation, help the people. It's like, so it's a what do you call it? I don't think it's fully there to assist you like that. Like, that's why with my organization, I want to assist fully. Like, whatever you have need of, I give you a 6-month frame period. And basically, like, within 6 months, you should be okay. It's like, you don't have to pay for anything. You have free housing. You have free food. You have to get education. They'll help you with the education department. You have to find out why you're here for, what you want to do. And everything's paid for, basically. Because I think people do 30 days, 60 days. That's not enough for anybody to get mentally healthy, spiritually strong, and then go back out into the real world, you know? Because that's, you're prematurely, like, going back into the world. So I'll say a 6-month bracket, you pretty much better had figured it out, and, have a new job, or at least got another gig in your career, or figured out your marriage, or dumped that boyfriend, whatever it may be, or, recondition yourself in a new spirituality, because a lot of people get into, like, demonic stuff, and they want to get out of it. So it's like, I specialize in that. Demonology, I specialize in that. I know all that stuff. So, okay, so you may be from, like, the darkest of all darks, but I understand you, and I can help you with that. You may be from the light of all lights. I understand you. I can help you with that, too. So it's like, that's what I want to do, is I want to give back and help. That's a part of my organization that while I'm doing my career, I will have that on the side as assisting others, because, as you said, we have to give back. And we have to give back in a light, holy way. And one of the things at the end is that our karma is weighed. So it's like, in doing this, I'm pretty much racking up my karma points. It's like, I'm not just in Hollywood just to do my thing. I'm here helping other people too. Yeah.
That's awesome. Very positive.
Yeah, it is. But I want to touch on that subject of tithing, because a lot of people that think churches, just ask for money. My perspective on tithing is that it has to do a little bit of faith too. That when you give something to church, that you 10% what you make. Let's say you get $900, so you get 10%. Now, I always haven't gave 10%. I'm a Christian. Sometimes it's hard, especially with bills and everything. But I gave something. It's just like remind me of the woman that didn't have much in the Bible. I think she had like a couple coins, and she just gave all she had. In my opinion, I don't think that was literally all she had, because I'm pretty sure she still had like some clothing or food. And so I think tithing also is about how you treat people, how you work with the community. It's still something in them. Because, like I said, I haven't always tithed, but I always saw blessings my way.
Ben,
it's just how
I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to give like a clarification of tithing and offerings.
Okay, yeah, please do.
Offerings is basically anything you give that you feel like giving. Tithing is 10% of everything that you own. 10% of your kids, 10% of your home, 10% of your income, 10% of your car.
Wow.
Anything that comes to you.
Wow.
I think tithing has gone out the window since the old days because we don't go out and kill the fattest calf or the or the all white sheep, whatever. That was tithing. 10% of everything. 10% of cattle, 10% of food, vegetables, you name it. I don't think we do that anymore.
Kind of
like a tax. Yeah, like a tax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
but it was a tax. But it was a tax to the church.
Yeah,
offering is basically anything that you're willing to give up off your own merit.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, people think that a lot of these churches is too focused on tithing, giving people money. I think that's really what turned people off. Like at my church, they don't even pass a play around. They don't even talk about tithing. You just give, what the Lord put in your heart to give, and just be done with it. And like I said, the church, they paid off, their building, they debt free.
Yeah.
And they don't take up plates. You just give what God put in your heart to give.
Yeah, we don't do offerings.
And like I said, I give based on what my heart. When I see my paycheck and I see my increase, sometimes we'll get 10%, and sometimes I get more. Sometimes I get less. Sometimes it just all depends on my heart. I'm not focused on my money.
Sometimes you just touch the plate as it goes by.
Yeah, sometimes. Hey,
that was 10% of his time.
Hey, as a child, when the plate came around, you touch your heart, you just throw the hand in the plate, give some of my heart, give some of my love. Love goes a long way in the church.
Yeah.
So, I'll give you some of my love, give you some of my blessings. So that's one thing I do hate about some churches, so especially mega churches, that putting all this stuff in their church and not putting it in community. That's why I have my problem with these churches that just take all people's money, like, give me your money. And
it's all about the money.
Like, this is really what I thought highly of this preacher until I saw this video of him. I don't give him his name because it really disappointed me. His name was $2. Think about $2.
Wait, what?
Yeah. His name is $2.
Yeah, his name is Clefo Dollar.
So look, so they right?
He's real famous too.
Yeah, he's real famous. He's a
lot of like superstars and sports people go to his church.
They fake. Yeah. So all right. So they're doing tithes and offerings, and somehow they guess they caught the Holy Spirit, whatever. So they threw money all over the place. There was money all on the pulpit, on the steps, and he was dancing all on the money, just dancing around.
This guy.
It's more like an entertainer.
Yeah, it was like an entertainer. Like, I literally looking at my TV, just my mouth open. I'm like, what kind of foolery is this?
Like, Crip walking on the money.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like free walking.
Maybe he was blessing the money. Maybe he was blessing it. Like, maybe he was anointing it,
Nah, to me it was like
with the new gator shoes.
It looked like a type of dance.
Is he the same preacher that said if you don't give, you're going to hell?
Yeah,
what?
So.
Probably.
Yeah,
no, that's not right, man. You're taking it too far.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Christians got, like I said, I'm a Christian. We got to call out God like that and tell people, like, we not about that. They're like, we definitely not about that. You know? So, and that's why I put bad taste in people now, because Christians don't say nothing. We're like, we need to do it to church. But if you're doing it like that, then that's definitely not right. And people going to look down upon us. Because we not, he dancing on his money, doing his little money dance, and he's not helping out the community, helping out the organization. Yeah,
Plus, like Jesus, he didn't charge people when he healed people, and he was the one that whipped the money changers, the bankers. He kicked them out of the temple. So all these guys are not really following Jesus. He was fighting against that. He wasn't trying to see that. But, he was fighting against what these Jews are doing.
You call it don't pimp the gospel. Remember, it's called preaching the gospel.
Hey, and they do it well too.
My friend said he's gonna become a preacher. You see how much money they make? I'm like, man, stop it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's called preaching the gospel. You know, it's like
it's not. I don't have a problem with there being like stories about God or Jesus or anything. If there's somebody or something out there that's looking out for us and our greater good, I'm all for that. But my problem comes in when people understand good and they understand evil, and then they understand how to manipulate it, and then they use gullible people who look for something and want something to be a part of and to be accepted, and they use that and they turn it. Because a lot of people deny the fact that the devil can go in a Christian church and preach. They think he can't walk through those buildings. They think he can't walk through those doors. If he do, he'll get burned. No, he can go preach to you, make you feel good, go home, and then now you're teaching this to your family, and otherwise you got deceived. So it's not my problem with a being out there wanting good for us. It's the problem that knowing that we were born and to already be deceived, and we got humans that came before we were born with that same knowledge, and yet we still have deception in the world today. That's what's wrong with it.
And that's why I think while religion is just frowned upon. If you say you're a Christian or you say you're a Muslim or you say you believe in anything, you're just totally bad, because it's just a stigma now these days of how they think religion is just putting people down, saying they're going to hell, and just trying to make their life miserable. And this one podcast I listen to is called Cult. It's on what's the name of that podcast? Castbox. And some of the stuff that they talk about would blow your mind, because people want a spiritual relationship. They want to know their life means something, right?
Yeah.
So some of these religions exploit those kind of people, and we call them false prophets. Because they exploit people.
False prophets,
and they're using the Bible, they're using the Quran, and to just mess with people's minds, and that's what not Christians is all about. That's not what the people that follow Jesus, Christ followers, calls ourselves. And I think people just gotta be careful not to just label Christians and other religion groups bad because of that stigma that's based on them.
Very true.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
So it's just like I said, I watch a lot of news. I don't watch a lot of news. I don't even watch the news, to be honest. I get my news from Yahoo, and every time I look on it, it's just something crazy about religion or the government, especially the government. I really got bone to pick with them, because they definitely ruining people's lives and just trying to control. And I think that's the biggest religion ever, is the government.
Exactly.
Well, the government is pretty, Well,
the government uses religion to control. They always have. The king and the crown was always the two symbols they used to control people in the ancient times. That's why it was the crown and the cross. That's how they always had the money and the power.
Exactly, the crown and
the cross. And that's pretty much the same thing here now, except now they use many different religions and different governments. And,
I think the government sent out different people to infiltrate religion. Just like
the
Pope.
Oh yeah.
Just like the new Pope. Oh, I can't stand him. Like, he just
I can't stand him. Oh my gosh.
Like, when he speaks, I'm like, bro, you lying, you're fake. You don't care about people. Like, I just sense that from him that he's just a liar, man. And I just feel like the government using him. They just feel like the church leaders are pawns. When they have that religion summit, I forgot what they call it. They have a meeting of all the top church leaders and stuff like that. Those people shouldn't be, talking for us. We should be talking for ourselves. Their word don't have.
But see, that's crazy.
Yes, exactly.
And that's crazy, because the reason why our voice right now, how we're talking, is way more powerful than any conversation that any political person can have. The only reason why they're saying it's not is because of how much money they got.
Well, I'm going to tell you about politics in a nutshell.
You're talking about politics.
Inform us.
Yeah. And I'm not going to make it racial, but this is like the perfect scenario. So, like when slaves came over to America, eventually over time, they gave the slaves Bibles and told them to have faith that, you know, they can be delivered, whatever they want, but they can't leave the yard. So that's basically what politics is. Like, hey, we have policies, we have voting rights for women, gays, blacks, Latin Americans, or whatever, but, you know, we still writing the law.
Yes.
Exactly. And
that's the crazy thing, man, because a lot of the things that we still hold and form our opinion on, and we base a lot of the things that how we run our life, is basically off of looking at someone else and either trying to do what they did and do it better, or messing up in general and then figuring it out later. But it's crazy because every book, every word that was it was man-made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, okay.
One. Always mess everything up and then try to figure it out.
like the word table. Let's take table for example. What if table actually meant book? What if it meant book? But just because whenever we were born to know a table has 4 legs, or some has 3, some has 5, but typically it has 4 legs. But what if table meant book? But just because of how we were taught and we were doctrined, we understand a table as being not a book. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of things that we say that we have control of was already created, and we just made it into our own and formed it. It's like what they call ergonomics. We formed the work that was already here to fit ourselves.
Right.
You know, that's
so
crazy.
Like a conformist. So you're talking like a conformist, right? Yeah. My theory is never to conform, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because you must stand out, you must have your own voice, because when you conform, that means you become one of a system. Now, the thing with the government, on my beliefs, is that they're here to program your mind. They call it cattle, which means that everybody's the same exact thing. You know, they show you images, they show you like materialistic things, and they even like in our music, in our films, they the director gives you an illusion of a world, and depending on what that world is, so you draw into that world, whether it's a material world or a world of just like music. And it's like, to make my day go by easier, I may like go put on an album, but so I'm zoning out the whole day long in this world that was created for me by an artist. You know, whether it's a soothing dimension, or whether it's just it's like a angry dimension. You know, because like a lot of rap songs has like murder, bitches, hoes, and, you know what I mean? And and like my song, you know, I talk about love, not talking about drugs, but not talking about drugs, about cocaine. Okay, so like the song, you want to F a rock star. Now the thing with that is, you gotta do like something with the past, and like when I was writing the song, it was actually a spiritually challenged song, because when I said like I'm an atheist, I became a rebellion at that moment, and I was like, I don't know, wait a minute, because everything I've wrote about has been just like, you know, being like a vampire, broken heart person, you know what I mean, being like a spiritually wounded person, or like you never loved me. That's another song, one of my songs that's brand new out. And it's like, okay, so what if I just like said, forget all that stuff right now and just go to my true core and say, what would I write about right now? Like what would I listen to? What would I zone out to? What is outside my ordinary? What's outside what I would do, you know, normally? And so that song just came out. Literally, like, when I went to the studio, I laid it down instantaneously. And I wrote it while I was in the studio. And it's like, but these are questions I ask. So it's not steering anyone down the wrong path. It's just asking you a question. And it's like, I may or may not have experienced those things. Or another who may or may not experience those things either. But it puts you in a state of mind and consciousness of saying, you know, if you want to escape your reality, it's like, it brings you to a whole new zone. You know what I mean? And like I said, I am anti-drugs. I have a tattoo that says, drugs kill. And it's like, so it's not promoting any drug use. It's just like the whole album is called "You Want to F a Rock Star," and each song on the album is the same title because it's one elongated song that's chopped up into different songs, but it has a common thread. So see, this song talking about that, like the whole, what do you call it, like witchcraft, black magic, voodoo, talks about the sacrifice, talks about drugs, those things like that. And the next song will talk about something different, but it's still within the same like category, So it's like once we get the whole album done, which I'll let you hear it, it's pretty cool because it's like we found ourselves when we put the track on, we'll put repeat and repeat and repeat. And I have over half of it done already, half the album done, and we just put on repeat, and it's like, well, let's make the whole album that then. It's like going to a rave party and you just like zone out, or say that, you're at home and you just like, you want to escape until like, you've never been to Hollywood, you've never been to New York, you've never been to London, you've never been to any of these really cool places that you see us on television or on a radio, and you're like, I want to experience that. So it's like we illustrate to you our lifestyle or what are that nor us, so it's like, I don't know. It's all just like, I was talking about the guys who said like murder and drugs and also, oh wait, my song "Motherfucking Rock Star" has that source in it, but it's no way promoting drugs. It's not saying, hey, you should do cocaine. It's just asking you a question. Have you ever? It's like I'm not promoting anything. I'm just saying I'm asking you simple questions.
I do have a question though. They say mushrooms, and do you consider mushrooms a drug?
Well, mushrooms,
like psychedelic,
shrooms,
psychedelic.
Exactly. Shrooms are psychedelic. It's a natural growing mushroom. But when you eat them, you have to eat a lot of them, by the way. I tried it. Blah. I wouldn't recommend it. No, I did. I'm guilty of it. So you have to eat a whole bunch of them, okay? And like I had this friend who did it. He I was like, oh my God. He goes, you should try it. I said, no, I don't want to try that. And it's like it's a psychedelic also like that. And he's like, it just, the only thing it does is open up your psyche and you, everything is bright. Yeah, everything is bright. But you have to eat too many of them. So guess what I didn't do? I did eat too many of them. So I was like, oh, this is a jam. I said, this is a sham. I said, I'm not experiencing anything like that. And like literally, he's looking at my back. He goes, dude. He goes, I have witchcraft on my back attached here. It says witchcraft. And he goes, dude, why does it look like your tattoo is engraved in your back right now? And he goes, and then the letters are falling off. I was like, what? And so he explained to me, it takes you to like a different dimension. It gives you an illusion. And I said, I'm not seeing that right now. Or he'll look at the wall and he'll say, he goes, the wall is breathing. And I said, no, it's not. And he said, but he doesn't do drugs stuff, like he just did the mushrooms, a friend of mine. And I said, the wall's not breathing. But to him, he saw the wall breathing. And he saw my tattoos engraved in my skin. And it was like moving around. And I was like, oh my gosh. So he said, you have to eat more. I'm not going to eat more. Because like I guess I have like a high content for that, for like drugs and narcotics, because I have a high spirit, high spirit frequency. So any kind of drug doesn't even bother me. I have to do a whole lot of it. And even then, just like, okay, cool, I'm on a normal high like everybody else. So I tend not to dabble into things like shrooms, because I have to eat the whole bag of shrooms, and then I probably get sick because it's like, it tastes disgusting. So your whole experience of the psychedelics, to me, is defeated. And he goes, put on some pizza. He goes, just put it in pizza or put it in a salad. I'm like, shut up.
So they say it's supposed to be like a spirituality type drug. Like people
exactly,
say
it is.
They go into different realms and they see like spirits, and their mind is free and all that type of stuff.
That's what he said.
When you said that you against drugs, and I just started to ask that about, just like they talk about LSD, that it make you free and spiritual. Yeah. And all that type of stuff.
Well, it opens up dimensions.
Yeah, it's like dimensions. They're talking about like, as some Christians believe, they open up dimension, more of a demonic type dimension. Some people think it open up more of another good type of spiritual, like
a spiritual plane.
Like you see,
basically being you're eating an apple. You're eating that apple.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was telling you. Remember, I said she ate a drug. Remember I said that? So it was a plant that was a hallucinogenic, or was a fertility plant. Fertility makes you have sex. Like those fertility plants make you have sex. They make your sex organs more sensitive. So it was something that was eaten that was supposed to be eaten, because I mean cocaine is made from a plant called coca, and you can find that anywhere in the forest. Like shrooms are mushrooms. They grow wild. You can even find them here in Hollywood, just like in somebody's yard. And they have like even plants that if you eat it, you get paralyzed for like 3 to 4 days. You're stuck into a dimension, and you're like, oh my God, they never said this. You got a 3-day paralyzation stuck in a realm that you can't get out of until it wears off in 3 days.
Yeah,
and
so basically like a ruse. Like, is this a trick to get people just high and think they on a spiritual plane, but really they just hallucinating and...
Well, no, there's no such thing as hallucination. I think this is what my belief is. You open up a portal, you open up doors, you open up dimensions and realms. And so when you do that, they can come through or you can go through. And when you do a drug like that, it opens up your spiritual door, and some people can actually walk through it. That's one thing that I was wanting to master and experience. I was like, okay, so what did you mean that you can walk through doors, you can walk through windows, you can walk through walls? And he did. And I looked up everybody that followed his teachings, actually before him, did the same thing. So I was like, okay, so I want to master that. I want to master walking through a wall. I want to master doing all these things in my lifetime. I mean, in my lifetime, I want to master. I want to find out the secrets of life. I want to find out the key to unlock all these amazing, cool things that we were told we can do. Like, I don't want, like I said, I don't want to be one. Do what?
It sounds like Dr. Strange, from Marvel. He can leave his spirit, leave his body. He can do different spells and
exactly.
Marvel's big on spirituality. If you ever noticed that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, most of them are repeated from like a superhero story, which to me is the same thing. You come and you rescue humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Professor X could do the same thing. Like, he can leave his body and go on to I forgot what they call that plane, but he can go
astral plane.
Yeah, the astral plane.
I believe in that too. See, the only thing about that, they have a thing called soul snatchers. Now, when you orbit and you leave your body, you blend in with the dead. Okay, so some know you're dead, but most don't. So if a spirit gets an unction that you're dead, then they might try to enter your body before you get back, and they would try to lock you out of your own body. So they call body snatchers. Yeah.
In Christianity, we talk about demon possession, how you might let something into your life, like we'll say incubus, like you into pornography and you get that demon or something crazy, and we say that open up a plane to a spiritual world, just like you do drugs. It might open up to a demon coming into your life. It was kind of weird. I had this girl that I used to work with. She claimed she had a demon living in her apartment. She would leave offerings and bananas, apples, and she put a curse on one girl. She said it actually worked, and she said the next night she went in her bathroom, it was slugs and snails, all this type of stuff on her walls. So it was kind of crazy and creepy. So she somehow opened a spiritual realm where she let this demon come in her life and just kind of flipped it upside down from her, because she ended up going crazy and quit the job and all that type of stuff. So it's definitely something that people don't realize they're messing with.
Yeah. And see, it's crazy because whenever I actually was able to astral project, it was weird because I thought I was dreaming at first, and then whenever I came back, I actually I felt my body fall back into my body.
Yeah.
And it was weird because whenever I was flying around, I was in mountains and stuff, and it's it's crazy because that's the type of stuff that I think about, and I ended up astral projecting to that, and then like you said, body snatchers, I don't know, it was weird because I didn't even encounter anything like that, and I came back, and then I was able to do what I could do now, and I don't know. It's weird. Like it's crazy because like I could see it. I could see demons and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
can I.
Yeah.
You could see him like walking around and stuff? Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
I've
never told nobody that. Nobody know. And I've never told nobody that. I've never told nobody that. But yes, yes.
Way to break it over on a podcast.
Break it over on the podcast. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
man. But I back him up on that one though too, because I can proof on that one just as he said.
Yeah, that story.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Wow.
I mean, I can actually project too, and like I can see through dimensions, and I can enter the dimensions, like we were just talking about. And within those dimensions, you have demons, you have angels, you have dimensional beings that are not human. You have the reptilians, you have you have frog species, you have moose species, but these are all like people, but they're like of another dimension.
All right,
and they.
Stop you for a moment?
Wow.
Can I stop you for a moment? You said reptilian.
Yeah.
Do you actually believe in like reptilian type people?
Oh, I know for a fact they exist in a different dimension. I've seen like the most gorgeous, and seriously, like it depends on where you live. Like when I have my house up in Hollywood Hills. You have the most gorgeous reptilian women and men, and I was like, they dress high class. True story. Yeah, good. Like they look like humans. Okay, they're fair skinned and they have snake pattern skin. So think of a snake. You have the same exact pattern, but you're a human. They had human bodies, but like the women they were like albino. So they had like a python albino, and they have like a darker patches on their skin because it's like a snake pattern. They had like bone blonde hair, and then you've seen some that was like a red. So that it's like they mixed with like red snake pattern, and some that was mixed like a green snake pattern, and it's like, but they were like so cool. Like I can sit here and say the reptilians I had contact with were very of a higher order, a higher society. They dressed well, they spoke well, and they was very beautiful. And then you have the ones that are not of a higher society. And they're green. They like the green colors, and I guess they're like different races, different nationalities. And it's like they're not so nice. And they're not so attractive, and they're rude. And then you have like the red ones, and it's like they can go pure evil or they can go pure holy, because that's more of an angelic reptilian, which some are angels like that. And it's like these are actually people that are shapeshifters, you know. And it's like,
oh, see, that's
I've heard of these.
That's where I wanted you to go with it, guys. Theories out there about shape-shifting people in this world and reptilian and all that type of stuff. And, you always hear they say the government officials are reptilian people, like the green ones, like the bad ones we talk about. They're trying to take over us and enslave the human race and all that type of stuff. So that's why when you mention that, it kind of, drop a red flag. I'm always hearing about reptilian type people.
Yeah.
And
it's another dimension, but they're here too.
David Icke talks about the reptilians a lot.
Yeah, David Icke, yeah.
He's like, they're controlling the whole thing. Yeah.
He's crazy. Obama is a reptilian.
He's like, they're behind everything. The reptilians are at the top of everything evil. They're the ones controlling it.
The Rothschilds are all reptilian people. They're taking over the world. Even though
I know, right?
Are pretty bad. So I'm kind of like in the middle. Like I'm more type like I believe in when I see it type of dude, but
But do you really want to see it?
Nah, not really.
Yeah, I thought so.
Some of them you don't want to encounter. Yeah, some of them are mean and vicious. Yeah, some you don't want to encounter. Some are mean and vicious. And then, like I said, like the ones I had the grace of meeting in the past, and I have to say the grace because they were super freaking cool, and they were super handsome and gorgeous, and like the guys were like dressed in tailor suits. True story. They have some wore like a hat. You call it like I think called like a brim, but it's like a very high class brim, and they have like a demeanor about them, but it's like they have serpent patterns, and they're like very nice. They're not, they're like very nice, and they like had a little grin on their face. And like I said, the women high on shoes, their shoes are slamming, their clothes are slamming. It's like they're beautiful. They have long fingernails, and long fingers, because like their fingers are shaped differently from what ours is, and their feet and stuff. And it's like they're on point. And I was like, wow. And it encouraged me. I was like, well, hold up. Just looking like, I'm like, that's pretty badass. And it's like, but they're of a different dimension. And if you enter, like say, into their dimension, then, and you can make it out, then that means, okay, there's something right with your energy, with your frequency, your energy force field, or your frequency. Because it's like, if I was unclean, or if I was mean, right into there, they would have got my ass. You know what I mean? But the fact that I wasn't, and I thought that was pretty freaking cool. They just smiled, and they're like, like nodded. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty awesome, and I just like continued on. I'm like, okay, so this is something that's embedded in my head forever and eternity, that I actually met them, the albinos, and they were pretty freaking cool. Now I had an encounter with the green ones. They're not as cool. They're mean, manipulative, and they lie. And it's just like, they're deceptive and they don't like humans. Like, they'll literally murder humans. And so if you meet a green one, it's like, clear steer of that. Then they have like the one with like the red, the yellow, and like a brown mix. And it's like they all have different personalities and different ranks and levels of reptilians.
I did leave an important part of that story I told you about the girl, the coworker that had the demon, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She said the demon had like reptilian type skin. It was green.
Yeah.
For a green one.
I forgot to leave it. Yes. And that was the one that was like tormenting her. So
yeah, it's true. Like those are demonic spirits, and they shape shift and they can change your faces. And they wear things they call a sleeve or a meat bag. Meat bags and sleeves are human fabricated bodies for a reptilian. Say somebody would look just like me, okay? And literally the reptilian will have a body that looks like my body, but it's like a suit. They put it on like a jumpsuit. So they're stepping into my body, and literally it's a sleeve or meat bag, a meat suit, and underneath that is a reptilian. So they walk around looking like you, and you're like, wait a minute, what the? You're not me. And it's like, yeah, they're reptilians. Some of their faces come off. Yeah, some put just like a plate face on, and they put like a front lace. I call it a front lace wig, because they have to cover up their face. Because when they put their face on, it has to cover up the hairline, and they use like makeup to seal the corners, so that it doesn't look like it's a face mask. And then they wear like wigs, like front lace long wigs, and it's usually down the side of their faces, so that you can't see the beginning and the ending of a fake face. So they're not even human. So some has walked amongst us. I have a friend, and he's with Area 51. Yeah, he's with Area 51 and the Bigelow family. Basically, that's the Bigelow family, and their grandson is one of my friends, and he was telling me just that about how some of their files they're highly classified and secret. And so he was telling me about this one that they got this call about some reptilians inside of a cave, and that some campers was out there, and then like one had got murdered, and then the other one got away. So this reported obviously to the Bigelow family, Area 51. So they had to go out there to inspect this cave, and he was like, you will not believe what came out of that cave. They all had firearms, obviously, but so they had a fight with these reptilians. He said they were like Nephilims, like the fallen ones from the sky. Yeah, he said there's like almost 20 feet, 15 feet, what we call reptilians. He said with red hair, pale skin, and they smell bad. He goes, they smell really bad because they hide out in the caves. And he saw this one open his face and bite this guy's head off. And when he did that, this when they started killing the reptilians, because they're like, okay, they murder humans, and they airlift the bodies. They say they weigh tons to Area 51. So all these reptilians that they call the Nephilims, or the fallen angels that they said they fell from the sky, they literally have to airlift these by airplane to Area 51. And I was like, that's in our dimension. So they have somehow came through, but they can't walk in today's society because you look different. You're 20 feet tall. You're 15 feet tall. You're 9 feet tall. You know what I mean? You're 10 feet tall. So we're going to know you're not human. even if you look like us, and their face was proportioned differently. So it was just like they just hid in caves. And so he has like all these files, and like he wants to be a part of my Thin Icon Motion Pictures, because basically it's just that we're taking some of their hidden files that's not allowed for the public to read or hear, and he's making movies out of them. Like yeah.
You know all this stuff you just explained, right? There was a TV show. I don't know y'all remember the TV show. It's called V. It wasn't on very long. It was actually a remake back in like 2013. No, 2009 through 2011. But basically, the base of the TV show was aliens. They come from outer space, whatever, and they look like humans, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody thinks they come in peace and they infiltrate the world leaders and whatever. But in reality, underneath their skin, they're actually like lizard people. And they
lizard people, exactly.
They green,
lizard people.
Yeah, they lizard people. They green, like on the TV show. I used to watch it. It was one of my favorite TV shows. And when you just explained that, it just came back to my mind. Like, you know what? That sounds awful familiar to the TV I used to watch. And they were like, trying to fight back against the aliens, but they already infiltrated, the government and stuff like that. And this one guy, he was a good alien. He was a good lizard guy. And he had sex with this woman, and they created a hybrid. And so now the lizard people trying to kill the hybrid, and he was the one to kill the hybrid. But, they think the hybrid can't save the human race or something like that. Uh-huh. And the show got, Morris Chestnut was a star in this TV show, but it got canceled, a couple years down. But that sounds just familiar like TV show. And I think Hollywood show us stuff like this because it's true. They just try to put it in
exactly.
They try to put it in movies like, oh, it's just a movie. Like, how do you sit in a table full of room executives and come up with a TV show about lizard people invading Earth? Like, I think there's some type of truth to it. They just turn it in stories to make it seem like it's just for entertainment. But I think some of the stuff might hold true.
Exactly. Well, they try to imitate celebrities, and that's one thing about being a celebrity is that you're accessible to demonic forces and to reptilians, to shapeshifted beings, especially the same sex. And this is what they do. They want to be you. And so we're here in this dimension, and they're literally in a parallel universe. Theirs is the same, similar as ours, but they're wearing our face. They're wearing our bodies. They're acting out our careers. And it's like, are you fucking shitting me? Sorry, everybody. Wow. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like you have on my face. You have on a meat bag. Looks like me. You're playing my music. You're basically trying to be me in that dimension. And it's like, but that's considered the afterlife dimension. The afterlife dimension basically is when we pass over. So say you when you die, you see somebody that looks like you, like, oh, I just died. That's not me. It's because a reptilian tried to imitate you. They try to stimulate your look. And although it's not the real you, it's a fake you. It's like they call it a meat bag in a sleeve that a reptilian doesn't put on, and they're acting like they're you in a different dimension, in their dimension.
Yeah, like you said, Darrell said, like David Icke is big on reptilian people.
Oh, yeah, he talks about the reptilians,
Yeah, that's his main thesis.
That's his main theory, is that they're running everything that's bad in the world, that they're behind it all. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Well, they're not kind of vicious or selfish and lie, and they're manipulative, and they prey on humans, and usually prey on humans that are alone or who are isolated, or they think they're loners, or they think that no one would miss them if they came up missing. And I was like, that's the biggest mistake they can ever make. Like, they may steal an identity of a human that they think that nobody ever realized is gone. And it's just like, and they'll continue out living their life as if they was that human. And it's like, no, it's like, you can't do that. It's like, you're created in your own image as that species. You're not me, the human. You're that, whatever it is that you are. And it's like,
I have a question. I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
You said that the green ones hate humans. Why do they hate humans? Do they just hate humans, or they hate all other races and spiritual beings, or they're just
mean? No, they hate humans. They hate humans. I don't know. I think they're a different race. Usually the green ones are considered as black. The albinos are considered as white. But usually they have a very angry demeanor about them. and in a very manipulative, controlling light, and their sex drive is very high. Like if you meet a green reptilian, they may rip you. Like literally, it's like they don't think about who you are, they think about who they are. And so they may use you literally, and they like rape you, murder you, but it's true story though. And like I said, I met the albinos, and they were nothing like that. Beautiful clothes, smiled, you know what I mean? Like, but the green ones, vicious, mean, just, they're angry at the world, they're angry at humans. Like, why are you angry at the humans for?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What did we do to them?
Well, we're beautiful, though.
I don't even know
but if you look at us, we're beautiful, and they have to shape-shift into a fake face or a fake body.
It's jealousy, then. They're jealous of the humans. That's
exactly. They envy humans, and so they want to be like us, unmarked. They don't want to be like have the cruddy skin or the scaly skin or like the hairy backs and face, They want to have the perfect face, the perfect body. They want to have skin. They want to have like flawless skin, And so we're made perfect. Yeah, we're made perfect in image. So who doesn't want to be us?
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow, this is crazy because I always heard these legends about like snake gods and like half snake, half woman thing. And I forgot what video game it was, but at the end of the game, the final boss was this powerful witch, and she was half human, half snake, and I guess that's what it was. It was the reptilian demon. You had to fight. And always at the end of these games, they say that's like the main enemy. And I always thought, what the hell is that? Now it's all making sense. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of Mario, you got to fight Bowser, he's
reptilian. Exactly. It's starting to make sense why these bosses are, reptilian. Yeah.
All right, guys, that's our time. We are well over our hour and 30-minute mark. That's supposed to be just an hour.
Wow, a great show. That was a
great show.
I
we have to do a part 2.
Yeah, we
need
should.
part 2.
We have to.
All right, we want to end it with your song, You Never Loved Me.
Okay.
All right, guys. Catch us on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, all major podcast distribution sites. See you guys next time. This is Skeptix.
I was too proud to see the truth. I wrapped myself in you. I was your possession. You were my obsession. After all the times I cried, I held it all inside. I was your trophy, but I could not break free. You had me wrapped around your heart. I never dreamed we'd break apart. there's nothing you can do. And all you have left is a memory of me. And you never loved me. My clothes, my eyes not to see. But now you hear me say, I'll make it all the way. But I knew time would tell. Maybe I want to hear so well. You never loved me. It was just a dangerous dream.
You're listening to You Never Loved Me. If you would like a copy of this song, please visit YolandaJeanTharpe.com. Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1media group, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website. And that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to theradio@only1mediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay, but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Danny Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.only1mediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.